Well, hello there. It's the Archivist from TradingCardArchives.com, and I am back to do one of my favorite things. I'm going to do a multi-set comparison of Gundam cards. And if you know me, you know I love Gundam. It's the reason I kind of started this channel. I used to be a big like Gunpla collector. That's the way you build the models of them. I had tons of those. I had actually way too many of them, but they're really hard to store. And so this hobby of opening trading cards was kind of my way of finding a hobby that would be a little bit easier to store. Although this has also gotten completely out of hand, but still, it's a little better. Like even with all the trading cards I have, it takes up way less space than the Gunpla ever did, right? And there's hope for me in this hobby. So, and so we're going to be looking at two of my favorite sets. So this is Duel Gundam 1, and this is Duel Gundam 2, and these are fresh boxes. So we're going to be cracking those open today. We won't be opening all the packs, probably only two or three packs from each of the sets. This is Little Frog's Mechanical Stories. Sorry. This is actually one of the best sets of Gundam cards that you can get, I think. They aren't as high quality as these, and they're not as expensive as these, but they're much more exhaustive. And what I mean by that is there's like over 120 cards at the base level in this set, and they represent every mobile suit you can think of. Like I have not yet found a mobile suit that is not in this set somewhere. Like there's so many, right? And I have a personal collection of these in a binder. So this box was already opened, but we're going to open a few more packs from it. And then the other thing we're going to do today is something I honestly forgot I had these. But this is very strange. But these are wafer cards. Um, Hang on, let me get the actual pack out. Explain it a little better. Yeah. So what they are wafers, and that's like a like a little cookie, right? So this pack would have had one card and a cookie inside of it. Now the thing is, AliExpress vendors can't ship food. So if you want to open these packs yourself, you need to buy them from eBay or something like that. They're going to be a little bit more expensive. But if you get them on AliExpress, they can be a little cheaper, but they can't ship the food, so the vendor has to open them for you. So the vendor opened all the packs. I bought two different boxes, and they put the cards in here. I've not looked at them yet, so I don't actually know what cards I got yet. They also recorded a video of them opening this, so they, presumably so that I can be sure they didn't steal any, right, or something like that. Um, but anyway, I trust them anyhow, as much as you can with this kind of thing. So yeah, they sent me these two. These are two different boxes, and we're gonna look at everything in there because I'm really curious to see what I actually got. And I just brought this out again because they sent me this as well in that set. I'm still super unsure what that is. It's not actually a Gundam thing. It's an amp suit droid combat, but it certainly looks like a Gundam. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. Before we dig in too deep, let's look at our top cards. These both came from a box of Kabog One Piece Year of the Dragon. And you can tell that because on the back here is the dragon designation. It's part of their Grand Line Endless Treasures series. And this is a ZR worth about $30. This was in the hit pack, and I mean, just look at that thing. That is gorgeous. That's Shanks. And this is Luffy on a New Year's card, which I was really happy to get. It's a GR rarity. Not actually that rare in this set. All the lower rarities are kind of all the same. These sell for $2 or $3 each, so not a super expensive card, but still I think a wonderful, great looking card. So those are my top two for right now. All right, then let's get some packs out so we can start this up. This is a 5v1 box. These are pretty typical trading cards. They're, that thin stock, and you'll see when we get into them. But also they're Little Frog. Little Frog does a good job with their treatments and their designs. So I actually really enjoy these. And anyone who asks me like what Gundam cards should I get, I don't know which ones to buy. There's so many out there. Like this is the set I recommend you start with. It's pretty cheap too. You can get a box for $15, $16, something like that. These, on the other hand, are a little bit more expensive. These are getting quite difficult to find, although they are still available. The shop I bought these from, I think, still has like 80 or so left right now. They didn't go on sale though, so I didn't get more. But they're about $34 each, and this one's also about 34. This is set one. Set one is actually a lot easier to find. So this one, I think you can find on 5 or 6 different vendors. And that's just because in set one, they didn't have as many of the one of one. Well, they actually didn't have any one of one cards. So the higher tier numbered cards, it just wasn't as big of a set. But when they went in and they made set two, they added one of one, and they even added gold, like gold precious metal cards that you can find in the boxes. And that's the reason these sold out so quickly, because obviously a actual precious metal card has value beyond its card, like the metal has value. So those can be highly sought after. So why don't we go ahead and open 3. No, I'm only going to do 2 of these because these are a little bit more expensive. I want to save them, so I'm going to do 2 packs of those. It'll still be fine. Trust me, you'll love them. They're great cards, and you'll see kind of the differences between set 1 and 2. And yeah, box 2 is really interesting box design. I guess I didn't mention the manufacturer. So yeah, this is Little Frog. These are manufactured by Lacard. Kind of see their logo and name there, Lacard. I've actually never seen another product from them. This is all I've ever seen from them, and they haven't made a third yet. I'm really hoping they make a third one of these. And that is an actual metal coin on the top. They always kind of fall apart like this. Why don't we do those 2? Those look good. And we'll save the rest. Nice. We will look at all of these, so don't worry about that. We're going to look at all of those. And actually, why don't we start there? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is find a way to get this opened, and we'll see exactly what's in it. I honestly don't know. I bought 2 boxes, but I don't know how many cards are in each box. I honestly literally don't know. So we're gonna find out. And I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get the cookies, because one of the boxes I bought is pretty old. It's the Gunpla covers set. So the trading cards feature box art from Gunpla, which is, I mean, not everyone's going to love that, but for me, that's amazing. Like that, I've wanted those for a really long time. I wanted those even when I collected Gunpla, and I just never could find a box, that was a reasonable price. So I didn't get one, but it's an interesting design here. I'm guessing that the cookies come in these little trays, and that's where they all come from. So yeah, the other set I got though was SD Gundam New Year's cards. So that's what I think these are. I'm just gonna, I think these are all the little trays. Yeah, so we can actually count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. We got 20 in a box. That's pretty good. And man, I guess they were vanilla wafers. The smell of vanilla is very strong, and this is going to be a mess here. So actually, I am going to go get a roller, because this... that got a lot messier than I thought it would. I'm going to pause and be right back. I need to get a roller to clean this. I'll be right back. I'm back. And yeah, it's just a cat hair lint roller. It'll help to clean this mat up. I guess all of these kind of have like, you can kind of see on there like crumbs. So that's sort of what I'm worried about getting cleaned up here. And then yeah, we're gonna have to actually open every single one of these, so get ready. They're small. They look small, right? Compared to a standard trading card, at least to me. But man, are they metal? They definitely look metallic. Let's see if we can read any of that. 2019. Yeah, look at that art. So I guess that's 2019. Again, I'm not super sure exactly what I was buying. I usually don't know. The card has a interesting finish though, almost like it is metal, but I don't think it is. But clearly it's a lot smaller. These are the same size as the SCP card. So that's kind of what SCP card size is. Now I'm like thinking I probably shouldn't have brought out those other packs because like, these are gonna take a while to get open just on their own here. Man, oh, that's got like a clear look to it too. Wow, that is very nice. Oh man. I have no idea if these comp, like I don't know if anybody sells these. I know very, very little about these types of cards. Other than that, man, they look very cool. Well, there's all sorts of different years. This one is a 2020. And they all kind of have that Japanese style painted art. But of course, on a super reflective metallic card. Another one. Yeah, I don't know how to look these up. I might try once we get a little further in, just to see if I can. So that's kind of like an action scene, I guess. Yeah. Oh, it's meant to go this way, sorry. Yeah, that is, they all sort of have these crumbs on them too. I guess that's gonna be a problem when you get wafer cookies. I should have probably thought about that. Ooh, that's super nice. Man, these are very good looking cards though. I almost feel bad bringing them out first because these look so much better than you could have seen there. And the other thing about these is all three of those are bootleg. So these are bootleg, those are bootleg, none of those are licensed. These are actually fully licensed cards. So they are sold in grocery stores in Japan. And in fact, if you have a Japantown in your city, not every city does, but like LA has a big one, there are grocery stores in LA's Japantown that carry this type of wafer product. Although they don't usually carry Gundam, they usually have Dragon Ball and the more commonly known anime in America, more popular ones. But yeah, you can go there and actually get them. And it's interesting because the reason these cards come with a cookie is so that they can be sold in a grocery store. Because otherwise you wouldn't be allowed to in Japan. It's like a weird, they have weird law on the food aspect of this. And that's why wafer cards are like a thing in Japan. And they really aren't a thing anywhere else. Like you don't see wafer cards in America, you don't really see them in Japan at all, or in China. And I don't know if most of you are probably not old enough, but in the very olden days of trading cards, when they first started, they always came with a piece of gum inside of them. And it was a similar thing, like they could basically tax them a different way if it had a food item in it versus if it didn't, right? And so they got a tax benefit by doing that, and that's why they did it. That's awesome. I actually kind of think that is the cover of the box. Like the box had this on the cover. But those are SD Gundam Gunpla models. That's what we're looking at right there. And with a really nice cracked ice treatment and just gorgeous border on there. Love it. I'm kind of curious what the back of this card says. I think it's just saying like what series it is, but I sort of want to translate that. So I'm going to pause and be right back. And no, it's too stylized. We can't translate that. But yeah, it's a little too stylized. But it's interesting. The back of that card says it was actually made in China. I didn't think that. I thought these were made in Japan, but maybe they are made in China. Well, they're probably made in China and sent to Japan. But as always, if you know more than I do about this, or you want to correct me on anything, please do. A whole major reason I started doing this channel and opening these things was to learn more about them, right? And I do my own research and I try to figure all this stuff out. But at the same time, it's not easy to research this stuff as someone who can't always read those languages. So for me, it can be tricky to figure out what these are. So if you know more and can help educate me, I would really appreciate it. Gosh, these ones with the clear are very nice looking cards. And all of these are, but just those designs alone are kind of epic. Oh, there's a dupe, I guess. Maybe I'll just leave that in its pack then, since it's going to be just a dupe anyway. Save myself a little time there. There's another dupe. And these sets aren't big. That's something I probably should have mentioned at the front. We're going to see dupes, and that's just they're not large sets. If you watched my other video where I opened some Witch of Mercury cards, those were the same way. I was just looking to see if I had them here because I could bring them out too, but I don't. But yeah, they were very similar, and there's like 50 cards in the whole set. So you get so many dupes in a box. It's kind of insane how many dupes you get in a box. This is a very nice looking one, but it's not a dupe, is it? No, it's just another one. Beautiful. And that's not either. I kind of get the impression there's more than 20 cards here. I really think this video is going to end up a lot longer than I thought it would be. I might make it 2 parts if that happens, just because I didn't expect that. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought there'd be like 10 cards in this box. But there's actually quite a few, and I really want to spend more time with them because they look so nice. So yeah, I might make this 2 parts, but if we're picking up just nothing but dupes here, it'll be a little bit easier. Okay, that's good. I love that they kind of all look like, I don't even know, like they're in samurai poses or something. It's pretty wild. We've been watching that Shogun show, and so kind of have all that samurai type look in my head right now. And the Gundams here kind of have it too. Super reflective. I mean, you can see my iPhone up there. If I point this at my face, there's my face. So yeah, it's very reflective. You guys might get to see that too. I was invited to go on a video podcast. I don't know when it'll happen. You know, those things always take a while to schedule and everything. It might be a few weeks, but if I go on there, you know, I'll be on video. You'll see my face. It'll be probably the first time I've done that. Well, I mean, first time I've done that here. It's not that I'm like ashamed, like I'm not scared of showing my face or something. I know a lot of YouTubers do that. They like put a little square here, a square here, and I can do that with this OBS Studio. I have enough cameras and stuff. I could easily set that up, but I don't want to waste the space, right? I mean, I want to give as much room for the cards as I possibly can. In fact, I'm going to move some of these packs out of the way just so we have more space for these cards. This one here is just gorgeous. And I sort of want to, I don't know, like, are there numbers on these? Okay, so that's a Q style series 2. I don't know. I am gonna go try and comp this or any of these cards. I'm gonna be right back. I kind of want to check and see if eBay has any of these. I really don't know if they do. I'll be right back. No, it's impossible. I mean, it's probably possible to comp these, but it's going to be really hard. And the reason it's going to be really hard is because of that. So the Gunpla cards that I was talking about, the other set that I have here, those are so popular, and they've been out for a long time that they kind of swamp the Gundam Wafer card market. And so any search you do for Gundam Wafer cards is going to turn those up and nothing else. Which is fine. They're probably like they're the best ones, so that's fine. But at the same time, they're not the only ones. As you see here, there are some fantastic looking cards in the other sets that aren't really being collected or sold on eBay right now. There might be some room in that market. I'm not sure. So that was a dupe again. That's not a dupe. Oh, we'll open that up. I guess it was about 20 cards total, so that all lines up. And yeah, definitely those were vanilla cards, like a vanilla flavor. I can still smell it very strongly. Yeah, all right. So that's a pretty good set here. Trying to figure out how are we gonna how are we gonna do this? Maybe what we'll do is we'll keep like some of the best ones on the table and just kind of put the rest to the side so that we can, keep going. It's sort of like, gosh, I like all of them, but I'm gonna try and pick here. We're gonna put those up at the top. I love the gold on that one. Really, they're all beautiful. Yeah, I mean these are amazing. I guess I don't know, the box wasn't that expensive either. I want to say this box was like only $30 or something. That one was like $60. Yeah, so that's expensive. But even at 60, that's the cheapest I've ever seen it. And as you saw when I searched on eBay, those are so popular that they're crazy priced. It's kind of insane. Why don't we go ahead and open some other cards here? So we have some other things on the table, and then we'll dig into those, and we'll open the rest of these, and we'll be done. So these again are Little Frog, more standard trading cards is what I would say. But as a collector, you kind of want that set. These fancy sets are good, but you really want your standard trading card set too. This is a point cards system, so it's not like a prize. Every single pack is going to have one of these in it. They won't all be 10s. 10 is the best one you can get. Still, they're kind of worthless to us here outside of China, because you would need to have a Chinese address and things to get this stuff shipped to you. But it's basically like a rewards program, so you could keep track of these points on there and then use them to buy like packs and stuff. But you can't do that outside of China, so not worth a lot to us. But here's what I was talking about. This is actually a base card. So this SR is a base in the set, and you can just see how great it looks. This diamond refraction pattern is unique to this card. Little Frog does unique refraction work on every single card in their sets, and so you'll see a totally different pattern on every card. And what I love about these is if the Gundam or the mobile suit has a known pilot from the series, that pilot will be featured on the card too. But then some are generic, like this is just a generic Zaku mobile suit. That's actually the grunt suit. So these are kind of like red shirts in the Gundam world. They're just there to get blown up. They don't have named pilots, so there's no pilot on the card. Now this is an SSR, so this is one tier higher than those. Still, there's like many tiers more than this in the set, but you can see already how beautiful those are getting. And then there's a little bit of information on the back too. So, how reliable or whatever that is kind of up to you, right? As far as I know, there are no real Gundams, so you can't go and check these statistics. But I assume they're pretty accurate. Now there is actually like a full-size Gundam model robot thing sort of in Yokohama. It's called Gundam Arsenal Base, is sort of where Gundam home base is in Japan, and they have a giant store there, and part of the store is a like 3-story tall Gundam that articulates and moves, and so throughout the day it'll do things. It'll like come out of its little garage and raise its arms up, and smoke will come out and stuff. It's pretty cool to see. You can see it on YouTube if you wanted to look it up. But yeah, this is one of my favorite sets. Why don't we get one more pack opened, and then we'll save the last pack for later. And when I get further into this set, I'll actually go back through my binder and kind of maybe give you all like a binder tour of this so you can see all the different cards, because it is, like I said, exhaustive. There are so many mobile suits featured in this set that no other set would ever feature. It's pretty wild. Nice. We got another SSR. That's a Sandrock, maybe? I can't tell. I can't tell who that is from the art, sorry. But beautiful. I don't think I have this SSR. I think this one's new. Gosh, I don't know. I would have to look that designation up on the wiki. So there's a 5-point card, but again, worthless to me. Cool to have. And then we'll open up 2 of the Duel Gundam packs. So just so you understand, this one with a Gunpla on it, this is Duel Gundam Set 1, and this is Duel Gundam Set 2 with the anime Exia. You can tell from the backs as well, GD01 and GD02. So these are both Lacard sets. They have very similar styles to them, I'll say, but there are differences between the sets. And specifically, the main difference is that Set 2 includes those precious metal gold and silver cards, and that's sort of why that one sells out. Yeah, we're going to get 3 cards in a pack here. And I'm failing at removing cards. I guess our hit in that pack was a UR Gunpla, actually. That's an RX-78 too, so that's the original, the OG Gundam, so to speak. I'm going to go ahead and get these SRs off the table because they also are just kind of taking up space now, and you've seen them. So we'll move them over there. We'll keep the SSRs. We'll put that UR right there. And then here's the SRs. So this set's SR, Duel Gundam 1's SRs all have single color metallic rainbow backgrounds. That one's blue, that one's green. You'll see the SRs in Duel Gundam 2 have a different design, but it's still pretty cool. This here maybe. Here's Duel Gundam 2. Again, we're getting 3 cards, but one will be a hit and the other 2 will just be base. So here's an SSR, RX-0, that's a Unicorn Banshee Norn. Great looking card. You can see the SSR design is really different. And the UR design is too. Here's a UR of, gosh, is that Grandpa again? No, that's an F90, sorry. That's F90, that's a very different Gundam. Much newer Gundam. Here's MBF PO3. This one I pull like all the time. I don't know if you've watched me pull these. I have, I think, like 6 of this card. I pull that one all the time. All right, so let's maybe save like those. We'll get these off the table here. And then I really want to start taking a look, like I said, at the Gunpla cards over here. We'll get just that. Yeah, so we'll use this space for those. So we'll open this up. And I guess it's going to be the same. Hopefully it'll have 20 cards in it, and that is going to take me a while to open. I'm sorry, but I'll do my best to go quickly. I'm trying to like avoid filling as many crumbs this time, and also figure out like what smell it is. I think this one was chocolate. It smells much more chocolatey than the other one did. But yeah, I'm gonna. Ooh, these have a sort of advertising inside of them. I didn't know that. Oh, neat. I guess it's exactly the same on each one, so we don't need to look at them all or anything. But you can see basically these will be, you know, literally Gunpla covers. So if you've had any Gunpla sets in your life, you might recognize some of these covers. And for people who collect Gunpla, this set is awesome because one of the things it's hard to this can be hard to explain, but one of the worst aspects of the Gunpla hobby is how cool the box art is, especially on the Verka sets. They are just beautiful, but they're huge and you can't keep them at all, right? And you want to keep all the boxes, but you just can't. And so the saddest thing as a Gunpla collector is when you get to the point you have to start throwing boxes away, which happens pretty quickly, because you want to keep them all, but you can't. But this is a way to sort of preserve that, gorgeous artwork without having to keep those huge boxes. And so here is, and this is an HG. I'm not entirely sure. I've never had this model. I actually didn't have many HGs. So HG is a designation of sort of how complex that model is and also its scale. So the HGs are at a 144 scale, which means they're 144 times smaller than the real thing, and they're much less complex models. And so that's an HG. This is also an HG. They're the cheapest too. These models are, gosh, $20 or less. They're not very expensive, unless you get them shipped. Sometimes they're more expensive to ship than they are to just buy. But also, they're not going to be very complicated. The HG models are pretty simplistic, very easy to build. They would take me like an hour to build or something. But you can do a lot with them. Like I never got too deep into it, but if you're an airbrusher or you paint, you can paint these models. People etch like extra detail into them. They'll buy metal pieces and glue it onto them. So you can make these models very complicated, even the HG ones. Or if you want to save money, you just or not do that, you just buy the more complex ones. Wow, that's like an HG with a sort of foil treatment to it. So I gotta open these before I look at them. I'm getting like mesmerized. You have to remember, this is a set I've wanted for a very long time. So for me, this is like a dream come true to finally open these. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, this might not mean as much to you if you were never a Gunpla collector. But if you were, this is amazing. Like, this is such a cool thing to see. And, obviously, like, definitely something I'm going to treasure and keep. I don't think I'll buy another box just because it's a little hard. If I do, I'll buy it on eBay, though, so that I can actually open the wafers. I wouldn't eat them. They'll be a little old, I think, in these. But yeah, there's a Strike Freedom HG. Actually, a very good model, that Strike Freedom. What is this? This is an RG. Oh my god, okay. I never saw this package. This must have been a premium Bandai thing. P-Bandai. So almost all the Gunpla boxes are horizontal like that. That's why this one being vertical is so strange. But I guess it's a limited package. So they must have sold a vertical packaged one at some point. I've never seen that before. Oh, nice. So this is Sazabi. I actually never built this. I had this model on my shelf for like a year, and I've heard that it's the best one by far of the RGs. But I never got around to building it, so it's just kind of sat on my shelf. And I ended up selling the boxed version of it. The cool thing about Gunpla is they hold their value, so even if you have a sealed box of this, it's worth the same amount or more than you bought it. But yeah, the RG series is more advanced than HG. It's still 114, so I was saying, oh no, it's 144, yeah, 144 scale still. But they're much more complicated models. They have really, really intricate inner skeletons to support all the armor on the outside, and they're so posable. And I mean, you basically get an action figure when you're done. It's pretty cool to get. The other neat thing about these models is they don't require any glue, so you can build them with no glue at all. In fact, you should not use glue because they're fully articulated, meaning that they move around after they're put together. So there's a 7 sword in the MG. So MG is similar to RG in its complexity, but it's I can't remember now the scale, but I think it's a 100 scale. instead of a 144 scale. They're bigger. They're way bigger, right? And then there's PG perfect grade kits. I don't know if we'll get one here, but I actually have a perfect grade kit that I built in Exia. Those are 172 scale. They're really big. They're like a 1.5 feet tall. And hence the storage issue, right? They're really hard to store. Man, that is great. I love these. These are some of my favorite cards I've ever opened. So I'm like a small little school child here opening these up. These are like so cool. I'm sorry, I forgot. I honestly forgot that I had these until a commenter was like, "Why haven't you opened the Wafer cards yet?" And then I replied like, "I don't know. I forgot I had them. Literally forgot." They were just sitting because they're in these like white boxes. But there's another HG in a different box style. Ooh, Zaku 2 HG, nice. Red Comet. So the Red Comet is Czar. He's the leader of, or Char, Czar, the leader of the Zakus. Zeons? Zeons, yeah, leader of the Zeons. HG, nice. Another RG, Tall Geese, yeah. It's another one I had and never built. That's going to be a common theme here. I think when I got out of the Gunpla hobby, I had a backlog of about 30 boxes that I hadn't built yet, and I sold them all to a reseller who then relisted them on eBay. So you know, I got a fair price for them, but he got even more money for them. So that is a HG Castria. This is actually what they call a mobile armor. I guess it's still a mobile suit, but this one is really big. This particular Gundam in real life would be much larger than all the others. It has these 4 giant wings that open up, and then these little like satellite things that it'll shoot out, and they'll kind of trap you. What a cool, what a cool looking one. Yeah, the HGs are definitely, like, if I was going to get back into that hobby ever, that's where I would be. I wouldn't mess with the RGs and the MGs again. I would stick with HGs, and I would just try to like get a good set of them, and I would spend more time with each one making it nice, right? I think that's a better value, and also way easier to store. You can put like 30 HGs on the same spot as one MG. So here's a Blue Destiny HG. I hope you understand now why I was so excited. The box art on these is just so nice, and to be able to preserve it this way is, I mean, I think an awesome way to preserve it. I'm trying to like figure out the best way to put these all down here. I am very excited to have these. No dupes yet. That's pretty nice. At least none that I've noticed. If we did pull a dupe, I didn't notice it. I don't think we have. I think this set is actually pretty large. They've been making Gunpla for like 40 years or something like that, so there are tons of different box art that can be featured. And in fact, I know that in this set there are some of those very classic boxes also, but they're the more rare cards, obviously. It's like we didn't get any PGs or anything, unless they're in those last two, but I think those last two are going to be HGs too. Looks like our top are the MGs here. But that's okay. I like all of these. I don't really have any problem with it. Been nice to get a PG though. I guess that now you have a reason to get a second box, right? 0 dupes. We didn't get a single dupe in any of this. Here's the RX-93 new Gundam. So that character is new in the Greek alphabet. Like NU, so you pronounce that new Gundam. And this Gundam is also very large. It's much, even though it's the same like scale as the others, it's physically a lot bigger than the other ones. And I actually did build this model. It was a lot of fun to build that one. And then here we go with one more. Oh yeah, okay. So there's that really classic box art. So remember I was saying this upright style. I never saw that in the RG, but HG, that's actually the way they started. So when the models were first released, back in the 80s, even I think in the 80s, yeah, they were horizontal boxes like this. They actually kind of look like books. They had the shape and size of a book on a shelf. You could put them kind of sideways like that. But yeah, this is cool. This is very cool to have. I am overjoyed right now. I mean, this is really awesome to see. I just need to make a little bit more room here for. Well, actually, I don't need to. Why don't we just open these and we'll look at them and replace cards if we think they're better, right? We're at 40 minutes now, so it's going to be a long video, but I've put up 40-minute videos before. I don't know. What do you guys think? You like it when the videos are this long, or would you rather I made it into 2 parts? I don't know. I kind of think having it as one part is a little bit easier, but I'm not the audience, so I don't know. But yeah, you see then that refraction work, just amazing. Every single card has its own unique refraction pattern, which is just epic. And not easy to do either. That means somebody made a layer, like a refraction layer in Photoshop, and layered it onto every single card, right? That's a lot of work. Now, with an industrial printer, it's pretty easy to print that. Easy. Not cheap, but it's easy. There's our SSR. And then let's look at Duel Gundam. Here's Duel Gundam 1 again. And the vanilla and chocolate smell is still here. It's pretty nice. I'm used to opening these and getting that that kind of acrid factory smell, like is usually what is hitting me in the face. So it's kind of nice not to have that hitting me today. So that is a very nice one. That's a GN. Wow. It's they call that a razor, like a riser. Sorry, riser. There is. Oh, that's Shinonju. So this is Shinonju. This mech is this mobile suit. I want to talk about this one for a second. We don't have it here. I have one in the other room, but this is funny. So Gundam are piloted suits. So when I call them a mobile suit, I mean that. There's like this thing is 4 stories tall. This one's really big. But inside that chest, it would open up and there's a chair in there, and the pilot sits inside of there and drives it, with joysticks and things and mental links. It's very fancy how they drive them. But if you think about that, there's a person driving this, right? This Shinonju then, in the anime where this appeared, goes inside of another suit, like a way bigger one. And this Shinonju robot is using joysticks to drive the bigger suit. So there's like a person controlling this thing's arms to control another thing's arms. It's off the wall insane. I love it. It's one of the things I just love about Gundam is how completely insane it gets like that. But yeah, that Shinonju rides inside of another mobile suit. It's probably the silliest thing. No, not the silliest thing. The silliest thing is the horse. We pulled that last time. There's a Gundam horse, and it's big enough that they sit on it like a horse. It's wild. Okay, well, we got a puzzle piece. I don't like that, but it's a pretty nice puzzle piece, I guess. That's a unicorn right there, so not too bad. And we know it's the middle right edge because that gold becomes the border of a 9-piece puzzle. I don't like getting puzzle cards, but, if I have to get them, I like them where they're like that, where they have at least some unique look. So I guess I can't show that. Let's show that right now. Here's an SSR, and it's a Grandpa. So we always call this one Grandpa because that's the original Gundam. If you saw Ready Player One, and if you remember in the final, sorry, spoilers, in the final battle scene, he actually drives a Gundam for a little while. He drives this Gundam because this is the original iconic one that everybody knows. That's a really cool looking UR. I mean, all the URs are nice, but that one is very cool looking. Sweet. So wow. I'm a little bit speechless. I'm still like obviously overexcited and everything because these are so cool. I am, one, blown away by how good this. I'm not super sure what you would even call that now, but it's sort of like New Year's style artwork, Gundam, awesome, right? And of course, these sets I always liked, and then this is just everything I wanted from it. I mean, I wanted a PG, so it's not everything I wanted, but still, to get 20 of these and no dupes, I'm so happy. And this Suzabi RG here, that is awesome. I'm actually going to put that like in a top loader and kind of keep it on my desk on a stand because I mean, I'm that excited about that card. And again, I know that not everybody's going to have that, but I built these models for like 10 years, so it was like a huge part of my life. So yeah, I definitely very interested in that card. All right, but there you go. There's Gundam. Sorry, 46-minute video. But I'll put markers in it so you can skip around, and so if you want to watch the whole thing. All right, I have to sign off now though, because that was a very long video. But I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.